all. In the previous class, we have discussed about the variable data type. Particularly, we have discussed about the rich data type. In the variable data types, we have also have some other data types like integers, time, and etc. So in this video, we're gonna discuss about the integer data type. And before starting, I'm gonna tell you something. I recommend you guys to use the headphones or the earphones, whatever it may be. So my voice is so slow and so low in the previous videos. um, I hope this video will be somehow loud, and uh, I recommend you guys to use the headphones or the earphones, whatever may be. So please comment after listening to this video and give me suggestions what how I can able to improve myself. And let's discuss the video without any delay. So integers. An integer is a general purpose variable of 32-bit wide. What is this 32-bit wide means? In the previous class we have discussed about the wire and range, right? What is the default size of range and wire? Default size of range and wire is 1 bit. So similarly for the integer data type, the default size of the integer data type is 32 bits. Okay, the default size of integer data type is 32 bits. So it can be used for other purposes like modeling hardware and stores integer values. It means it can able to use it in the looping statements or some other statements in the always block, and it can be used in test TBs for uh, instead of writing manual test cases to generate the test cases using the for loop. So all this for all this purpose it can be able to use. Okay, so let us see similarly all these points for the case of integer 2. Okay, so let me remove this point. Already we have discussed in the wire, right? So let us see. So I'm gonna copy this, I'm gonna paste over here. Today what's the topic? What's the integer data type? It is the integer data type, right? So integer. So integer. So let's see the first thing. So already I have given integer data type is used to store the 32 bits. Okay, 32 bits. And okay, let us see with the code. So I'm gonna writing the code module integer data type. Okay, yeah, integer. Okay, wants to be remembered. Before that, let me read the syntax. Integer followed by variable name. Okay, integer int. Okay, I'm gonna use the int. So you may get the doubt that we have to use the int, right? Why you have going to use the integer? So int is not a data type in Verilog. Remember this point. Okay, int is not a data type in Verilog. Int is not a data type in Verilog. Okay, int is data type in SystemVerilog. Okay, and in SystemVerilog we gonna able to use integer and int as well. Okay, there is a difference between integer and int also, that will be discussed further. Okay, so let me declare the int. So you can able to assign the value here itself. So let me uh, use let me leave like this. Okay, let me leave like this, and I'm gonna use the initial begin. And so let's see whether the default value is 32-bit or not. So is not. Okay, so let me print the int value, int equal to percentile 0b to get the number of how many so okay, yeah. So I'm gonna print the int with the format specifier percentile 0b. So let me save this program. Before that, let me comment these things. Okay, I think let me comment this thing. Yeah, there is only code now, and I'm gonna run the code. So you're gonna see here I got how many x I've got in total 32 x's. Okay, in total I got 32 x's, means okay. For suppose if you're gonna give reg over here, let us see how many x or z. Let's see. Yeah, so I got only one x. In case of integer I got 32 x's. In case of reg I got only one x. It means reg reg default size is 1 bit, whereas integer default size is 32 bit. So I hope I have cleared you the point why the integer by default 32 bit. Okay, so it is going to print 32 bit values if we don't assign any value to the integer. So let us see the why. So so tell me what will be the output. So all of you will able to tell that x, but it will be z. Why we got the z? Why? Because for the case of wire, the default size is 1 bit only, but the default value that it can be able to store is z. Okay, by default wire and reg both are 1 bit, but where reg can able by default reg can store the value x and wire can able to store the value z, so that it will use it to print the default value with default size if we do not assign any value. So any data type if we do not print any value, sorry, if you guys do not assign any value for any data type. Okay, so let me clear. Okay, let me just take me a 2 seconds. Okay, let me form the sentence. So okay, for any data type variable, if you are not gonna assign the value for it in the program and you are going to print the uh, value, okay, you're gonna print the variable, then the resultant will be the default value in default number of bits or the default size. You will get the default value of that variable uh, type in default size of that variable data type. Okay, for in the case of where you got the single bit only with the value of the default value of the wire, that is z. For in the case of reg we also get this default size only with 1 bit, but with the value of the default value of the reg. For in the case of integer you got the default value x. For the case of integer the default value is x with a default size 32 bit. So from this particular program you can able to know both the things. What is the default value of that particular data type variable and what is the default size of that particular data type. So for in the case of integer, let me say change this to integer. So yeah, integer. So let me save this program, rerun this program. Excuse me. So you can able to see the default value is x, and we're gonna get the x how many times? How many times we're gonna get this x? 32 times. Why 32 times? Because by default integer size is 32 bit. Okay, yeah. So we have cleared the both the points, right? So this have to erase this. It's not the high impedance, right? So in the previous reg also I need to erase the point. Erase it, yeah. So let me erase this point. Yeah. So let's see the third case. By default integer, right? Integer is signed or unsigned. Okay, let me see. So I'm gonna assign one value, -7. Okay, 7 for the tala. Dhoni. Yeah. So let me print the value. So similarly, the previous case I have discussed it, right? If signed, then int equal to -7, else int equal to how much, we don't know. Why? Because it's 32-bit. Okay, we don't know. It will be okay. Let me write the point. Okay, it will be 2 power 32 minus 7. Why have uh, why here I have written that 2 power 32 is by default integer is 32 bits. It means integer can able to store 2 power 32 values. From that maximum number of values that it can able to store minus the negative number. Okay, so LC unsigned, right? You guys calculate this value. Let me calculate this value. Okay, let me calculate this value. Yeah, if you're gonna see this, the value of 2 power 32 is 4294967296 minus 7. How much it will be? 4294967289. I think, yeah, it's perfect. So let me print. Let me clear this. Okay, yeah. Is there any errors? It's taking time. Yeah, there are no any errors. So let me print. So I have used the percentage 0b. So we have to use percentage 0d. Then only we can able to find it. So let me. So we got the -7. It's not 4294967289. It's the -7. It means integer by default it is signed. Okay, by default integer is signed. By default reg is unsigned and var is also unsigned, but the by default integer is signed. Okay, you have to remember this point. So what we have done in the previous case, in the case of var and reg, is if the reg and var are unsigned, we have used the signed modifier to make it signed, right? So similarly, if the integer is signed by default, to make it unsigned, so we may get the requirement also, right? And sometimes we have to use the integer as unsigned to access more number of positive values only by neglecting whole negative values. So in that case we have to use unsigned. So for that we have to use unsigned modifier, where we have to use in front of integer. No, right? We have to use next to the integer, right? I have used the unsigned modifier. So now what is our expected output is, because of we are using the unsigned, we shouldn't get the result as -7. We have to get 4294967289. Let's see whether we are getting the value or not. So I haven't saved, I think so. I haven't saved the program. So something happened. Let me check this. So we are getting the -7 itself. So let me reprint. What's happened? There is. Let me. You haven't get any value. You have to get the -7. But we have to get the 4294967289. Why we get the -7? Let me check this. Yeah, sorry, I have seen right now. So here we have used the integer data type, right? So we can't able to modify this particular integer data type in case of Verilog, okay? Because it's not the int data type, it's the integer data type. So by default, it will be signed, and it is always the signed, okay? It is always the signed data type. We can't able to use represent it in unsigned. We can't able to represent it in the unsigned, okay? Yeah. So that point also you have to write over here. By default, integer is signed, and we can't use the unsigned data type after integer to print its corresponding 2's complement value, right? The 4294967289 is the 2's complement representation in binary. Its equivalent decimal value of -7, okay? Yeah, we can't use the unsigned data type after integer to print its corresponding 2's complement uh, value, okay? By default, integer is signed, and we can't even use the unsigned data type after integer. So even if we use, we get the same, we don't get any errors, okay? That point also you have to write over here. All these things I am gonna learn by teaching with you, okay? Even if you use the unsigned modifier, you won't get any errors. Instead, it prints only the native value itself, okay? This is the thing. So you have to remember this point. So we have used the unsigned. Let me print again. So we have used the unsigned, and we have gonna run this program. So we are getting the int equal to -7, okay? It's not possible, I think so, right? So we have to note this particular thing, and if unsigned int, then we are also getting the, this is wrong. No, we will get only, we won't get it if unsigned int, we won't get the, instead we get the -7 itself. So this is all about this video, and the next video we're gonna discuss about the time, okay? So don't be confused, okay? I think we have to get confused, then only we can able to learn more, okay? All these points will be summarized by me in the end, okay? Yeah. So thank you guys.